wonder who I am. Who are you? Who are we? We're spirit. We're in bodies, but it's not who we are. I'm a holy Son of God, and so are you. We're safe and healed and whole, free to forgive and free to save the world. Perhaps we're here to remember that within us, there God lives. That all is already safe and healed and whole, that there's nothing to do here. But remember to rise up, to show up, to tell our own truth. So because you're my teachers, and I know I'm yours too, I want to share with you how I learned from everyone. And I had I'm going to call it a glorious lesson. At the time it didn't feel glorious. It was yesterday. And so I'm going to ask for you to heal your own thoughts and your own misperceptions, as well as mine, and our misperceptions in the world. Because so often we do not see truly. We forget. And we see lack of wholeness and holiness, sickness, craziness, violence, disaster, death. I'm just asking if I can use her first name. Her first name is Christine. And she came to me a week ago, and I saw a holy woman, kind of down on her luck, coming from a place in Iowa where they study Ayurvedic healing and so on, knowing many things about many people, including herself. And she came because she needed help, because she had forgotten. She had forgotten herself. She'd had an accident and had what she called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, it's called. And she wanted me to love her and to be with her. And it was my joy and honor and pleasure. And together we soared, we sailed, we remembered God, we talked about wondrous things and about the miracles in her life. And we didn't have a thought about that professional relationship, you know, where one comes and the other one gives and one receives and people need to pay money and all that. We just were together in love. And she couldn't wait to come back and see me again, but I didn't have any space for her. Sounds like room in the inn, huh? Until yesterday. And I can't tell you what happens in between in the mind. But yesterday I saw her totally differently. I saw her homeless and mentally ill and lost and in physical pain. And I thought about referring her to someone for her physical pain. And I talked to her about, you know, what she believed about all of it. And, you know, I still probably, for most professionals, was still seeing her in a way that others don't see her and asking for her joining with me. But the truth is that in those moments, as I thought about her even last night through the night, I saw her in trouble and needing help, and I didn't help her. sometimes I believe that you and I, because I'm not alone in this, forget. And we judge. Maybe we think we can't do what the other person is asking for us to do. And so instead of embracing them and loving them and trusting in the God in us, we forsake them in the truest way. I actually had a thought today and said to Robert on the way here, because we had that beautiful 2-hour drive to share and ponder and meditate and contemplate. She was asking me to be Jesus and heal her. And I doubted myself. I forgot that I am holy, and so are you. It's not something that I have to pray for, or study for, or meditate on, or do affirmations on, or get more training, or ask for someone to refer her to, or lay my hands on. I am holy, healing, and so is she. And I forgot. I didn't love her as she came to be my teacher, my friend, myself. I separated from her. I could do this. I separated from her. And what does that mean when you separate from someone? When you see someone who's different from you? What does that mean when somehow you hold someone separate from you? Her clothes weren't clean, her hands weren't clean, her hair wasn't brushed. She had not brought to me a body that looked like mine. I didn't see her intrinsic wholeness. I didn't love her as she was, as she is right now. So I'm going to say to you and to me, as we're all talking to ourselves, I must erase my self-doubt and know who I am. And not claim that I am my body, or even that I'm my emotions. And I'm definitely not my past history. I am created by God, as God, to live and do godly things for my brothers and sisters every moment of every day. With my thoughts, my words, and my activities. And so are you. And so my real forgiveness, to remember that I'm healed, whole, and holy, is to forgive my thinking constantly. To forgive my self-made limitations, to my learned beliefs and opinions, that somehow there's anyone separate from me, ever. But there is only love here. There's only holiness here. There's only God here. So, Christine, I am forgiving myself today. And I'm loving you for what you taught me. And I'm honoring everyone who comes and teaches me by many, many words, deeds, and thoughts, as well as appearance, that something's wrong with them, with me, with us. Nothing's wrong. We're not our bodies. We're not our emotions. We're not our thoughts. We're not our finances. We're not our state of education or divorce or financial situation. We are spirit. And spirit is here to love. Spirit is here to awaken and remember and reach out and teach and touch. So what am I going to do about my forgetfulness? What am I going to do about my self-doubt? What am I going to do when I think that I am my body, or my body irritates me, or somebody out there irritates me, or I have an experience in the world that isn't something that feels glorious and wonderful and happiness producing. And then take a deep breath, or 5 or 10. And maybe just keep breathing. Just keep remembering. Maybe what I'm going to do is do it anyway, even though I'm afraid. Even though I'm judging. Even though I'm holding myself separate. See, I ask us to be reminders for each other often. Like there's no separation here, like you're me and I'm you, and somehow it's us all in this together, awakening, remembering. And some of us remember by reading holy books, and some of us remember by singing a song, or walking in nature, or cooking a meal, or giving someone a hug. And some of us remember simply by showing up on Sunday. So I would invite you to teach me, to remind me, to awaken me, to serve me and show me as you are serving and showing you by trusting and not doubting you. By living that place that you know inside where only love resides. Nothing else. Nothing else. And forgiving or erasing or deleting anything that gets in the way. We really are the workers. Some call us light workers, remembering the light within. Some of us are called the love bringers, or maybe storytellers, or maybe singers, or fine artists, to show us in the beauty with our ears and our eyes and our taste and our touch. You are here to be bringers of heaven on earth. Spirit am I, Holy Son of God, safe and healed and whole, free to forgive and free to save the world. So since Robert sang, I call this a song, Course in Miracles, something from Course in Miracles today, the light you bring. You see, it is your light that heals. It is your light that disappears the darkness. It is your light that awakens and remembers. You are God's, and you are the light of the world. Minds that are joined and recognize they are can feel no guilt. For they cannot attack, and they rejoice that this is so, seeing their safety as this happy fact. Their joy is in the innocence they see. Innocence they see. And thus they seek for it, because it's their purpose to behold it and rejoice. Everyone seeks for what will bring him joy as he defines it. It's not the aim as such that varies, yet it is the way in which the aim is seen that makes the choice of means inevitable, and beyond the hope of change, unless the aim is changed. And then the means are chosen once again, as what will bring rejoicing is defined another way and sought for differently. So what if you're bringing light and you're choosing to shine on beauty, visual beauty, and you see something that's not visually beautiful? Are you willing to shine the light again and to see the beauty within? And if you choose to look for what is sick or ailing or crazy, and that is what you see is a world that has violence and craziness and all the things you don't want, would you be willing to look again, shining your light brighter, and see the intrinsic wholeness and holiness within those situations and those beings? Are you willing to bring the love? Are you willing to be the light? I'm going to skip because it talks about perception. It's a basic law. You will rejoice at what you see because you see it to rejoice. That's very clever, by the way. You will rejoice at what you see because you see it to rejoice. In other words, we're choosing our purpose. We're choosing what we want to see. We're choosing what we experience in every relationship and every one. And I'm going to shift to the end of this little chapter. To you. That's you and me. Every single one of us. And to Christine. To you is all of heaven. Every leaf that falls is given life in you. Every bird that ever sang will sing again in you. And every flower that ever bloomed has saved its perfume and its loveliness for you. What aim can supersede the will of God and of his Son? That heaven be restored to him, for whom it was created as his only home. Christine, heaven is your only home. Betty Lou, heaven is your only home. To each person sitting in this room, heaven is your only home. And heaven is the place in which you live, with peace and joy and love. And all is well, because you are healed